What's up, beautiful people? I'm Erin and this is Erin On Demand, and today I'm going to share with you guys some of my biggest lessons, most mind-blowing or transformative things that I've learned this year in my third year of business, which is nuts to even think about. But before we get into that, this portion of the video was sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. This partnership is actually perfect for me because I don't like giving my personal number out for business, but I also don't want to have a contract for my work phone since I don't have that many incoming work calls. So if you're in the same boat as me, this is good for you. Straight Talk Wireless is a no-contract wireless service provider that offers coverage on America's largest networks, and they offer nationwide 5G coverage. Now, I'm excited, y'all, because Straight Talk is in the giving spirit. So they're offering double data on their $35 plan. This includes 10 gigabytes of high-speed data with up to 5 gigabytes of hotspot enabled, as well as unlimited talk and text, because I mean, we all need that. And don't worry, they offer the latest smartphones like the Samsung Galaxy A32 5G and affordable no-contract 30-day service plans starting at $35 a month. I love that Straight Talk keeps it very straightforward with their approach to the wireless industry. There's no tricks or no complicated tech terms. Straight Talk is the no-nonsense way to get no contracts with no compromise. So find a phone and plan for you at straighttalk.com. Thanks to Straight Talk Wireless for sponsoring that part of my video. Now, back to the regular content. The first lesson that I have learned is that bigger risks lead to bigger rewards. And I would say that this year was a pretty fun year for me as an entrepreneur, but I will say that it doesn't necessarily get any easier. As the business grows, you just grow with more responsibility, more demands. You have to hit certain numbers. You're trying to make sure that the business is growing. If you have a team, I'm trying to make sure that I'm able to pay them, that I'm able to still live and have fun. And so, as things grow, bigger risks are required in order for us to achieve those bigger rewards. And so that's been a big lesson that I'm learning this year, is that I have to take those big risks in order to keep the business growing. And so this year, we got a new office space, which I'm so excited about. I've also been working on my course. I hired a course designer / manager, and so that was a big risk / expense. We also had a couple of new hires on my team, and so it's just been like constant pushing forward and taking risks to push us to that next level. And that's something that never changes. Even though we hear, take the leap, you're constantly leaping as you grow as an entrepreneur. And I'm really learning what that looks like. The second lesson that I've learned is how to hire and lead more effectively this year. I feel like before I was kind of just, obviously we're all doing the best that we can. A lot of us have never led a team before, myself included. Like, I never had that experience working in corporate. So it was something that I really had to learn and understand what leadership even means as an entrepreneur and what that looks like for me and my team. And so I have learned how to hire a lot better than I did before, just kind of learning from my past hiring experiences. And I'm saying this like I have like a whole bunch of people that I've hired, but we are growing the team. And I think that each experience of hiring, each experience, you have to learn something from that. When we first hired, it was kind of just like out of desperation and we were just looking for someone. And now this time, now our hiring process is very streamlined and it is very effective in retaining the people that we want to have on our team. And so I've been learning a lot about how to manage teams, how to structure and have team meetings, how to, make sure that my team feels like they are feeling seen and they're well taken care of. So that has been a big learning experience for me this year. The third lesson is not letting imposter syndrome thrive within my pricing. And I am still learning this lesson. I feel like pricing just doesn't get any easier. Although I have learned what makes sense for me when it comes to pricing. I've learned how to think about pricing in a way that makes sense for me and my business. And it's something that I am super excited to break down in my course coming up. But, pricing has always been tricky, and I feel like it's one of those things that I've just accepted is it may always be tricky. But just learning that you cannot always try to stuff a whole bunch of stuff in one product to justify the price. The value is there. And I think that a lot of times I have been guilty of, loading up the eBrand club just so that I can get people to want to pay, when really it's about the perceived value of that to the customer. And so, somebody may be willing to pay $100 for something that someone is only willing to pay $30 for. The biggest thing is learning who you're looking for, and also how much you want them to value your product or service as well. So I've really been reshaping how I think of pricing. I know that a lot of us, can be like me, where you think you have to cram your products or cram your services with all these cool things or all of these resources or all of these extras and bonuses and this and that and the third, when really you don't have to do that. And that is a hard lesson that I am still working on, making sure that I don't fall into letting imposter syndrome creep its way into my pricing. Just because I feel like, do I deserve to charge this much? Are people actually going to pay for this? And then also not thinking about pricing in a sense that I can just charge some absurd amount that I don't even feel is justifiable. So just kind of like making it make sense to myself. And that has been a big lesson that I am so thankful to be learning and to have, push the needle forward with this year. The fourth lesson I've learned is not to plan for the year, but to plan for the quarter. And I actually read a book in my membership club called The 12-Week Year, and it is such a great book, but it really helped to shape my mind on planning for the next year and to really try to think about the year in quarters, and basically to think about a quarter as its own year. And this kind of forces you to act more urgently. A lot of us get the urgency to get into action at the end of the year. Q4 is always the busiest quarter for most businesses. And this book really helped to shape my mind in thinking of every quarter in that way. Q1, like every quarter represents a year. Each week, those 12 weeks that make up that quarter represent 1 month, and each day represents 1 week. And when I think about time in that way, it just helps me to make sure that I am constantly taking advantage of every single day. And a lot of times we think things are going to take so much longer than they actually will because we aren't working with a sense of urgency. And so, for me, just really trying to understand time has been a big lesson for me this year. Managing my time more efficiently. I know you guys see me on the vlogs and you're just like, oh my God, you're so efficient. And I really do try, but I don't feel like I'm as efficient as I can be. And I really know that book has helped reshape my thought process of time and weighing more time on each day instead of thinking about the whole year, at the beginning of the year, planning the entire year, and then kind of pushing things off to Q4 and then getting into action. So, just creating more of a sense of urgency and thinking about the year as one quarter. The fifth lesson that I learned this year is to enjoy what I have built. And this, to me, has been the first year that I have really been able to walk in the harvest and really enjoy the fruits of my labor. And I say my, but I mean like me and my husband, me and my family, me and my team, like being able to really having built all of these things, all of these aspects of my life, and being able to enjoy them now. And by no means do I think that I am, where I want to be overall in life. I still have a lot of things that I would love to accomplish, but I am definitely smelling the roses right now and just really enjoying my new home, my new marriage, my like freedom and being able to travel and just enjoy life. And so I think this year I've maybe a little bit too much, but I've been really trying to strike a balance, spending a lot of time with family and just prioritizing things that I enjoy doing, because I have learned that it has really helped me not feel as burnt out as I have in the past, when you can just be so nose deep into working and to getting things done and to checking off that top 3, and all of that is great, but what good is it if you aren't enjoying the life that you are building? And so I don't want to wait until everything is just done and perfect in the way that I want it to be to enjoy, because there is so much that I have been blessed with right now. And so I'm really enjoying that part of entrepreneurship. And I think that this is a great like year 3 has just been such a wonderful year for me, and I am so excited to see like where this next year takes my business, takes me personally, takes my marriage, takes my home. So if you are an entrepreneur, new or seasoned, I encourage you to just take a little bit of time and reflect on some of the things that you may have learned this past year, or things that you're looking forward to in the next year. It really does encourage me to see how far I've come, not necessarily through the things that I've checked off boxes in terms of amounts of money that we've brought in, or amounts of followers we've gained, or any of those vanity metrics, but to really think about those internal lessons, how you have become stronger as a business owner, as a woman, as a person, as a man, like thinking about where you've come from mentally over the last year is so empowering. So I encourage you to do that, and I want you to share that with me in the comments, your top lesson that you've learned through this year of entrepreneurship. I love you guys, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.